Hello, everyone. So this is Motivational Monday live with your host, Aura Elena Martinez. And I'll explain to you first why I decided to do Motivational Monday lives here in this page. Monday tends to be those days, that day of the week where many tend to dread, right? Not feel motivated, be like, oh, another day, another week. And it is my intention that this Motivational Monday live lifts your spirits, adds to your life, lifts your level of consciousness, gets you more connected to yourself. Because I'm telling you, the more connected you are with yourself, the more elevated you are in terms of your level of consciousness, you just see things differently. You make different choices. You make choices from a higher elevated state, which leads to you living the life that you want. You living a more fulfilled life, right? And if you are just watching these lives or you're just getting to know me, I want to present myself to you. My name is Orlando Martinez, and I'm a self-discovery and empowerment coach, helping women and men gain total clarity in their purpose so that they can wake up to daily fulfillment and certainty. Now, do not mistaken purpose or purposeful life for you living out your calling. Because let me tell you this, you could be living out your calling and still not be living your most purposeful life. Because a purposeful life is composed of so many different things. There are so many different things that adds to our happiness. And this is what I want to talk to you about today. The importance of being your own happy place. And that's because when you are happy, right, you're able to do things differently. You make different choices, right? When we are happy is where we could get ourselves to a state where we are living the dream. Speaking about dream, today is Martin Luther King's Day. And I don't know if you know this, but this whole week from January the 15th to the 21st is the Hunt for Happiness Week, right? Every third week of January is the Hunt for Happiness Week. This is the third year that I'm even mentioning this. And if you think about it, everything that we do it because we think that it's going to provide us some kind of happiness, right? If we are looking for love, it's because we believe that love is going to give us the happiness that we seek. If we're looking for the other half, the happiness that we seek. If we want a marriage, it's because we think that marriage is going to give us the happiness that we seek. If you are seeking to have that sexy body, it's because perhaps you think that that's going to make you happy, right? If you think about it, anything that we want to do at the end of the day is because we also think that we're going to be happy because of that. And happiness is one of the core foundations for you to live your most purposeful life. I mean, let's keep it real here. That's one of the core foundations, right? And this is one of the things that many times we tend to get it so wrong. So wrong, right? Some seek happiness by escaping reality. And some do this through constant vacationing. Now, if you think that I'm calling you out here, please know that I'm saying it out of love. I'm saying this out of love, right? I want to clarify that there's nothing wrong with vacationing. Absolutely nothing wrong with vacationing. But if you're utilizing vacation for you to escape from your reality, that's a big red flag that there's something that you're wanting to ignore. Thank you so much for the hearts. There's something that you are ignoring, and that in itself is a red flag. Because there's nothing wrong with you vacationing. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But if you're using it to constantly escape reality, there's seriously something wrong with that, all right? Because vacation should be to enhance your life. It should be for you to grow, to expand you. When you travel, it should not be because you're wanting to escape reality. It's because you want to expand yourself. You want to grow yourself, right? You want to learn more. You want to bring that with you to your current reality and use that to enhance you. You see where I'm going with that, right? Some people, believe it or not, in order to escape their own reality, they do it through gossiping. Never heard of that, huh? I'm going to tell you why some people use this as a way of escaping reality. This is because this is what gossiping does. Gossiping, it allows you to point the finger at anything or someone outside of you. And it also takes your attention away from whatever it is that you need to be placing your attention to. It places that attention outside of you, right? While you're being so-called entertained, because gossiping can be entertaining for some, right? And what this does is that it distracts you. Gossiping is very distracting, believe it or not. It may not seem that way, but it does. It distracts you from really pointing the finger where it actually really matters. And that person is you, pointing the finger towards you, right? And it distracts you from placing the attention where you really need to be placing the attention, where the change will be created, what really merits your attention, where the transformation actually starts. And the reason why it is much more easy, it's much easier to do this and to put the attention outside of yourself. And that's because looking at ourselves can be so uncomfortable. Looking at ourselves can be one of the most uncomfortable things for us to do. It is hard to look at our own skeletons that's in the closet, right? It is challenging to look at the things that we don't like about ourselves, the things that is just much more easier to ignore. It is hard to look at our own wounds or whatever it is. It's hard to look at ourselves, all right? This is also why the pandemic was very hard for some people, because apart from the fact that they had to face their own reality, I mean, there was no way for them to escape their own reality. They also had to face themselves. They had to face themselves, and that was hard for them. That was very hard for them, okay? Some people seek happiness through their jobs and careers. Now, nothing completely wrong with that, except that if this is your only source of happiness, this is going to hurt you down the road. That's right, I said it. This is going to hurt you down the road. And this is because eventually you'll have to retire. Eventually you have to retire. And what? You're going to be depressed because you can no longer do your job or do the career, right? Not only that, nowadays, no job is secure. No job is secure. So if your job is your only source of happiness, that will do a number on you mentally, okay? That will do a number on you, because you could find yourself doing the following, getting all caught up in all the little details, and every little detail that doesn't really matter, to the point of obsession, right? Things have to be done in a perfect way, and this has to be done in this way. Da, 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 da. Can you imagine? Can you imagine working with someone that micromanages you and every little thing is like, come on now. That is annoying. And it doesn't create a culture where people feel comfortable around you. So this is going to affect the way that you interact with others when you're not aware that it's doing a number on you mentally, right? And the things that don't need to frustrate you, they're going to start frustrating you. If things don't go exactly the way you planned, or if things don't go exactly the way it's supposed to be, right? It can make you very, very frustrated. You don't want to do that. It does a number on you mentally. It really, really does. Some seek happiness through their marriage and family. I get it. There's something so beautiful and comfy about family and marriage, but if you make this your only source of happiness, you are jeopardizing so much. You are jeopardizing so much, and you are jeopardizing your overall well-being. That's right, I said it. I'm going to explain to you why. If you have kids and you're making your kids your only source of happiness, that is so wrong on so many levels. Wrong for you, wrong for the kids. You do not have kids so that they can make you happy. You do not have kids so that they can make you happy. That can be a portion of your happiness, but that cannot be the sole source of happiness. That is so wrong, and that is so selfish of you. And I say that with so much love, because that's so much of a burden to put on a kid, right? You don't have kids so that they can make you happy so that they could be your source of happiness. That's just so wrong. And this also creates a very unhealthy dynamic between parent and child, a very unhealthy dynamic. Kids grow, they become adults. They then move out of the house. They then get married. They then have their own kids. You see where I'm going with this? They have their own life to create. You're not their life. You are a portion of their life, but not their life. I say this with so much love and so much respect, and I hope you can hear the love in this. I say this because when we make things outside of us as our source of happiness, we're always going to jeopardize our overall well-being. Okay? And if you make your husband or your wife your only source of happiness, well, there's a lot to unpack there for you. That cannot be your sole source of happiness. All right? Because otherwise, what's going to happen if your husband or your wife dies, or if your husband or your wife decides that they're going to move on, that they cannot continue on with the marriage or with the relationship, whatever? What, you're going to be depressed and anxious? You're going to let yourself go? You can't do that. You can't do that. That is so unhealthy for you. They are a source, they're one source of happiness, but not the source of happiness, not the only source of happiness, a portion of your happiness, one of the things that makes you happy, but not the source. They can never be the source. One of them, okay, but not the source. They cannot. Some people seek happiness through social media. This is a big one. And I mention this because we're in the era of technology, of social media, right? A lot of people are affected by everything that they see in social media. And so, well, yeah, let's keep it real. Let's talk about the things that actually matter, right? If you are utilizing social media as a source of happiness, I don't think social media should be a source of happiness. Let me just put it that way. It should be a source of entertainment and growth, but not happiness. If you're utilizing your social media to post, even though you're not really feeling that happy, but you're posting how happy you are, but you deep down, you're not happy, okay? You are not happy. You are posting for those likes. You are posting for that approval. You are posting because you want some kind of attention. Listen to this. This is a sign that you're not taking a look at what really matters. You're not taking a look at what really matters. There's something there that you need to be looking at. That is also something else that you need to unpack. Okay? If you are going to post, make sure that you post because you genuinely want to share something that truly makes you happy. Don't do it for those damn likes. As a matter of fact, there's people, half of the people that are going to like your stuff, they probably don't even know you like that. Two, they probably don't even appreciate you like that. So why are you going to go for those likes? Those likes don't even matter. Those likes do not matter. Okay? They do not matter. If you're going to share, make sure you're sharing from a place that you're genuinely happy. This is a genuinely happy moment that you share. Me personally, when I share, that moment has passed because I like to enjoy the moment. Some people use social media and they're living the moment and wait right there while they're living the moment and we post it. No, enjoy your moment. Life is for you to be enjoyed. And this is going to take me to my next point too. Some people use social media to live vicariously through others. And that's why they're seeking happiness through social media. Let me tell you this. Ain't no way I'm using social media to live vicariously through other people. We are not doing that. I am not doing that. I don't need to live vicariously through anybody, right? Neither do you. You need to be living your life, not living or watching someone else's life so you can live vicariously to find a little bit of happiness, because by you looking, it just helps you escape reality. No, that's not how it works. Me personally, I didn't use social media that way. I use it to grow. Whatever I'm looking at, it needs to be because it's growing me. Yeah, sometimes I look at cat videos because I have a love for cats. lately I have a love for cats. But other than that, if I'm looking at a post, if I'm watching a video, watching a reel, it has to be something that's either going to inspire me, grow me, change me, have me look at things in a different perspective. If it's not doing that, I don't need to look at whatever other people are doing. I could care what anybody else is doing. I'm looking at what can grow me, what can change me, what can transform me, what can make me to a better person. That's what I'm into. That's what I want. So if you're going to use social media, if you're going to look through things, if you're going to scroll through things, at least let it be things that grow you. See, this that you're listening to, this grows you. Level. Differently. If you're going to use social media, use it to grow you. Not because you're looking at what so-and-so is doing and living vicariously to someone else. Come on now. Use it to grow you. Use it to elevate you. Use it for your betterment, okay? Invest in it. Use it to invest in yourself. Right now, by you watching this, you're investing in yourself, believe it or not. Because the things that you're watching, reading, whatever, they're either growing you or they're keeping you stuck. One of those two things. They're growing you or they're keeping you stuck. One of those two, okay? And let me say this, when you rely on anything outside of you for your happiness, as your only source of happiness, I am telling you, you are jeopardizing your overall well-being and you're jeopardizing the real source of your happiness. And that real source is you. That real source, you are the real source of your happiness. I want you to get that. I want you to see that, okay? Yes, as human beings, we need a little bit of everything to be happy. Absolutely. Everything makes us happy. Everything can make us happy. And everything can make us unhappy too. But we need a little bit of everything to make us happy, right? Let's keep it real here. Everything matters when it comes to your happiness. Absolutely everything. There is not one single thing that can be your only source of happiness. You cannot allow that. Because the moment that one thing doesn't work out, that one thing goes down the toilet, you know what I mean? That's the moment that your happiness goes with it, right? So having perfect physical health is not enough just to have happiness, right? You can have the perfect physical health, but if your financial health is bad, you're not going to be happy. Do you see what I mean? Everything matters when it comes to your happiness, right? You also need to be financially healthy. You need to have a healthy social life. If you're in a romantic relationship, that relationship needs to be healthy, right? Doing meaningful work, or at least work that you actually enjoy. That is important too. Absolutely everything matters. And all these things have a common denominator. Every single one of these things, there is one common denominator, and that common denominator is you. This is why you becoming your own happy place is fundamental. It is fundamental. It's extremely important. There is no way any of those things can add to your happiness when the foundation, the common denominator, the root of all that isn't right, isn't healthy, isn't strong. There's just no way. There's just no way. Okay? So why do you want to become your own happy place? Because number one, when you become your own happy place, you also become your own safety net. That is so important. Okay? As human beings, we tend to find comfort on the things that are outside of us. That's normal. There's nothing wrong with that necessarily, right? We tend to do that. All of us do that. But because this is an ever-changing, fast-paced, me, quick world in which we're living in, you relying on something outside of you for your happiness jeopardizes your overall well-being. It just does. It just does, okay? I'm going to share this because as human beings, we're also social beings. I have a best friend. She is still my best friend, even though we haven't heard from each other in years. She got married, she moved, and I haven't heard from her in a few years. And she is the one friend that I know that if I'm happy, she's happy for me. If I'm sad, she's sad for me. She was like my rock, right? I could talk to her about absolutely anything, and there would be like no judgment, no criticism, no nothing. And when I noticed that things were changing in our friendship because I wasn't hearing from her often, and yada yada yada, here she is, she got married, she moved away from to another state. That made me very sad. And of course, there are moments that I still miss her, right? There's moments that I still miss her. And if she's watching this, I want her to know that I want her to reach out to me because I really, really miss her. And I'm the kind of person that I'm a big believer that it's so important that we're always cultivating new friendships, right? I mentioned that in the book, Creating a Lifetime of Wellness, Start Having the Life You Deserve, because that is so important to the health of your social life. Because I'm always cultivating new friendships and meeting new people, right? I'm not as sad that I haven't heard from her in several years. I'm not as sad as I would have been if that's the only friend that I have. Do you get where I'm going with this? Right? You are the source for new friendships. You are the source for your own safety, because there's safety that we get when we have that one person that we know that we could trust, that we can rely on, that we could share our deep, darkest secrets, right? There's a sense of comfort in that, right? But when I remind myself that I am my own comfort and that I am the source of that comfort, it just changes the way I feel about things. It changes the way I handle things. Do you get where I'm going with this, right? You are the person that you spend the most time with. The person who I needed to be my rock, it's me before anybody else. I need to be my own rock. I need to be first the person that I can rely on, right? I need to be my own cheerleader. I need to be the one that is there for me. Do you get where I'm going with this, right? Yes, we need things outside of us, but we first need it from ourselves first. The way that you will become a healthy human being, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, is when you realize that you are an interdependent being. Some people go the extreme. They're either dependent or independent. And both of them are wrong. And both of them are wrong because you are both of those things, right? You are both of those things. Both of them are right together, not separate. Okay? When you get that you can find safety both within yourself and outside of yourself, but that you actually find that within yourself first, that's when you're going to start feeling stronger, healthier, right? Financial safety, this is another example of safety, that the safety first starts with you. Financial safety doesn't start and doesn't come from a job. It doesn't. It actually comes from you. And I'm going to explain how. You got that job because you possess skills that job requires, right? It was you and the skills that you have that got you the job that you have. So you see how this safety thing works? Like, you are the primary safety. You are your financial safety. You are your love safety, right? You are your job safety or career safety. It's you. You are your mental safety. You are your emotional safety. You are your health safety. Your health starts with you. It starts with you and the choices that you make and the things that you do. It starts with you, right? When you can learn how to find safety within yourself, no matter what is going on outside of you, that's when you become a master of yourself. That's when you become a master of yourself, right? You becoming your own happy place is about you becoming so good with you that outside things don't necessarily shake you. Outside things don't necessarily have to shake you. Okay? And this takes me to point number 2. The reason why it's so important that you become your own happy place is because as you become your own happy place, your self-esteem starts to grow. Okay, your self-esteem starts to grow. How great would it be for you to be good with yourself no matter what is going on outside of you? Wouldn't that be great? That would be fabulous, right? If you knew how to take advantage of whatever life throws at you, whatever stones, lemons, whatever it throws at you, you know how to take advantage of it, right? There's a level of self-esteem that is required in order to get to that point, right? To get to that point of knowing how to take advantage of anything and everything that comes at you, right? And it takes a level of self-esteem for you to not let anything outside of you shake you, okay? And this is because when you have low self-esteem and you cannot see yourself clearly, you can't see how you can use what you have in front of you to your advantage. It's impossible. It's impossible. And that's because when you have low self-esteem, you let things outside of you shake you. You let the rejection shake you. You let the betrayal shake you. You let the disappointment shake you. You let it all shake you. Someone with high self-esteem, none of that affects them. None of that gets to them. Okay? And I want to utilize as an example Shakira. I don't know if she has the song in English, but the song in Spanish, where she really lashes out and throws indirects to Piqué, who was her husband, and he cheated on her. And apparently it seemed like with a much younger woman, but there was also other factors that was just her ex-husband really played her dirty, like really dirty. I don't know if you know the whole story, but if you don't, go look it up. It's been in the Spanish news. This is why I know about it and I know how dirty it is. And it just wasn't nice. And so the song that she now has, and even the lyrics, wow, this song is making her a whole lot of money. It's gaining her a whole lot of popularity. And she knew how to take advantage of that situation, right? Because what he did, which was so dirty, it's not so much, and it's not only because he betrayed her for someone younger. A betrayal is a betrayal. It doesn't matter if it's younger, older, whatever. It was still a betrayal. There were other factors involved. And if she would have had low self-esteem, she would have let that get to her. And she did not. She did not. She was able to take advantage of the situation. She knew and she knows that there's other women that can relate to her and to that song that she shares. She knows that there are going to be women that are going to feel empowered by the words that she utilizes in that song. They're going to be empowered. Smart woman, because that song is becoming so popular to the point that people were going in front of her house singing that song in support of her and her music. Very smart of her. Very smart of her. But the only reason why she was able to do that, she sees high of herself, right? Her seeing high of herself has nothing to do with money. Let me tell you this. It's not the money nor the fame that is going to determine if you're going to take advantage of a situation, if you're going to do things a certain way. It's your level of self-esteem and whether you're able to see your value in yourself very clearly, right? Because we've seen other artists that people have played them dirty, and rather than elevating them, it brings them down. They get really hurt by it, right? It's so important that you learn how to activate your inner happiness, because your happiness does not come from anything outside of you. It's not a partner. It's not your kids. It's not your job. It's not none of that. You are your own source of happiness. You gotta learn to be your own source of happiness. It's so important that you learn to strip away the things that don't belong to you, that never pertain to you, that doesn't have any need to be in your life, and that doesn't really matter. and that you see yourself as the powerful being that you are. It's so important. You are the source of your own happiness. I'm going to repeat that again. You are the common denominator to all the things that you say that make you happy. All the things that make you happy, it's all through you. You're the one making the choices. You're the one allowing it, right? When you strip away from you the gunk that don't pertain to you, AKA you do the inner work, you can make better decisions as to the things that you say that make you really happy. When you're making decisions out of layers, those things are not going to make you happy. They can make you happy in the short term, but not in the long term, okay? The more you deeply understand yourself, not in a superficial manner, but you deeply understand yourself, the more you will allow that which actually resonates with you and with who you really are. It's not necessarily what you attract that matters, it's what you allow. Because each and every one of us, we're always attracting all kinds of things. It's not what you attract, it's what you allow, okay? I want you to remember that. It's so important that you remember that. And the third reason why it's so important that you become your own happy place is because when you're happy, you retain more. That's right. When you're happy, you retain more. When you are in a heightened state emotionally, you observe more, you learn more, you see things differently, you process information differently. And depending the emotional state that you're in, that's how you're going to see things, right? That's how you're going to see things. If you're depressed and you're sad, all you're going to be able to see, your capacity to see is very limited, because all you can see is things that depress you, things that make you sad. Think about it. If you're here, you're limited in what you can see. You're just limited. Whereas when you heighten your emotional state, you're here, you see more, you see differently, you feel differently, you take in things differently. One of the things that you should always be seeking, no matter the decade that you're in, is wisdom. It's wisdom, right? Some people wait until they reach their 50s or 60s to gain wisdom. No, it doesn't matter what decade you're in, if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, or 60s. Always seek wisdom, okay? Always seek wisdom. Always seek to increase your knowledge. Always seek to know more. And this is because wisdom allows you to make better decisions, okay? Decisions that serve your higher self and others, because others are affected by the things that you do. Others are affected by the choice that you make. That's how important you are, right? That's how important you are. And there is no way that you can retain more, learn more, grow, absorb, I meant to say, when you're depressed, when you're anxious, or when you're sad. There is no way. Happiness expands you. Happiness expands you, whereas sadness contracts you. What happiness does is that happiness facilitates the elevation of consciousness. You always want to elevate your level of consciousness. You always do. Because when you elevate your level of consciousness, you just see life differently. You see yourself differently. Solutions can come to you a lot quicker, right? And I'm going to use the following analogy, because this is a good one. If you're in a big city like New York City or even Chicago, and you're walking the streets of the city, and you're outside, you're like on the ground level, how does everything look like for you? The cars look bigger, right? The buildings, they look, oh my God, so huge, like just so huge, not reachable, right? People look, well, depending, if you're short, they're going to look taller to you or the same size. Everything is just going to look a lot bigger. But if you go in a building and you go to the highest floor in the building and you look outside, how does everything look like to you? Everything starts looking a lot smaller. People look so, so small. Cars look much smaller than how they look when you see them face to face. The buildings, because you're at a higher level, they seem to be at your own level. You don't see it as high or as unreachable as before. You start gaining a different perspective of life, right? Everything starts looking a little different. I use an analogy to describe that when you are depressed and when you're sad and when you're anxious, everything starts looking big. Situations just start looking big. Problems seem so big. The challenges seems unreachable, unsurmountable, right? Everything just starts looking unbelievably big and not solvable, right? Whereas the more you elevate your emotional state and you start feeling good and happy and all that, situations are not problems. They're just opportunities, opportunities for you to grow, opportunities for you to see what you're made up of, opportunities to learn something new, opportunities for you to see where you need to grow as a person, right? This is why we always need to work on elevating our emotional state. The people that you see that they are feeling gratitude, happiness, love, all that good stuff, joy, the reason why they're able to see things differently is because they're in a different emotional state. Because when you are in that state, you cannot help but look at things differently. You cannot help but look at things differently. This is why how you feel matters. How you feel matters so, so much. I don't want you to take that for granted. It matters a lot. This is why it's so important that you become your own happy place. Why do you think that events such as Tony Robbins and other events, they have music and they all have you jumping and dancing to music and all this stuff? Why do you think they do that? They don't do that just so you can change and shift your mood. Yes, because of that, but because they also know that it's in that heightened state that you're able to grasp more. You're able to learn more. You're able to receive the information in a different way. They know that. So that's why they include that in their live events. Because it's when you're in the heightened state that you just grasp things so differently, so differently. You're giving yourself that chance to grow. You grow in that heightened state. So if your attitude in life is and all this cynicism and stuff, well, you are exactly where you need to be because look at your attitude. Plain and simple. I'm keeping it real here. I'm from the Bronx, so I keep it real. Us New Yorkers, we keep it so real. I'm not going to sugarcoat it here. If that is your attitude, you're going to get exactly what it is that you're putting out there. There you go. That's your life. That's why you are where you are. That attitude isn't taking you anywhere. All right? Your attitude determines your altitude. I'm not going to take credit for that. I heard someone else say that. I don't remember who it was, but your attitude determines your altitude. So if you want to gain altitude in your life, your attitude needs to change. Your attitude needs to change. It needs to change to an elevated state. You cannot lower the altitude. The more you lower the altitude, the attitude, the more you're going to lower your altitude in life. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. You cannot afford to have that kind of attitude of cynicism, of kind of attitude, because you're going to get that right back. You're going to get that right back. What you put out there is what you're going to get. Right? And it's so important that you realize and that you see how you are the source of everything. Absolutely. Everything starts and ends with you. Absolutely everything. That's how much you matter. All right. So if you want this year to be so different, then it is you that has to change. Now, the circumstance is going to change once you change, right? You are the source of everything. You are the common denominator to everything. And with that, I want to mention, if you are wanting to be your own happy place, I'm going to highly, highly recommend the course, Be Your Own Happy Place, How to Find Inner Happiness During Times Like These. This was a course that I created back in 2020. But this course, if you are wanting to change your emotional state, you are wanting to really, really get yourself so grounded and get yourself to be your own happiness, this is a course. So if you desire to uncover what's been occupying the space of happiness that no longer needs to be there, you want to break through what is keeping you down for so long. You want to gain clarity as to how this happiness even looks like for you. Because, hey, happiness is not a one size fits all. Just because this makes so and so happy, it doesn't mean it's going to make you happy, and vice versa. So it's so important that you find out what is your happiness. If you desire to get to the core of who you really are, and your life depends on this. Let me tell you this, your life depends on this. When you don't know how to get to the core of who you really are, it's just so difficult for you to find your own direction in life. It's just challenging. If you desire to rekindle your passions for life, that's right, passions in plural, because your cup will be so full when you rekindle your passions. Not one, there's different things that add to your happiness. If you desire to be full of love on a daily basis, and you desire to master yourself so that nothing else takes control over you, this is going to be one course that I highly, highly recommend that you get yourself. Invest in yourself, get yourself this course. I'm telling you, it's going to help. It's going to change the way you look at things. It's going to change the way you look at yourself. You're really going to be stripping away all that doesn't matter. So go to www.auraemartinez.com/your line happy line place. I'm actually going to put the link here for easy access so that you don't have to look around or write it down. It will be right there. Get yourself this course. I am telling you, it's going to change you. It's going to transform you. It's going to get you to look at yourself very differently. So it is my desire that you really allow everything that I have mentioned here to really sink in for you, because you becoming your own happy place is fundamental. It is fundamental for you to live your most purposeful life, because as you become your own happy place, you become your own safety net. And that's very, very important. You create your financial security. You create your love security. You create your friendship security. You are your own security. And it's so important that you know that. The second thing is that as you become your own happy place, your self-esteem grows. There's a level of self-esteem that is required in order for you to really take advantage of everything that comes your way, in order for you not to let things to shake you, right? It's important. Self-esteem, a healthy self-esteem is fundamental to life. Without a healthy self-esteem, you just make poor choices for yourself. I know you do not want to do that. And then the third thing is, because when you become your own happy place, you retain more, you absorb more, you learn more, you grow more, right? Happiness facilitates the elevation of consciousness. All right. When you're sad, when you're depressed, when you're anxious, you don't learn much, you don't grow much. And so this is so, so, so important. And with that said, it is my desire that you live life to the max the way you are destined to live. Share this video with other people. You never know who needs to listen to this message. And until next time, bye for now.